I'm Brittany Lewis, a reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is Forbes contributor, Dr. Omer Awan. Dr. Awan, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, as you know, since you are a doctor, January is the time that people set a lot of health-based New Year's resolutions. Eating healthier, working out, things like that. But you write about a different resolution that could have a bigger impact on your health. What is it?
Well, I think since the pandemic, many people are not going to visit their primary care physicians. And in fact, research has shown that primary care visits are down 10% in Americans compared to pre-pandemic levels. So that really means that 1 in 10 Americans who used to visit their primary care physicians are no longer visiting them. So I think just going and visiting your doctor can literally have a great and a profound impact on your health and well-being.
First, that number is alarming that 1 out of 10 isn't visiting post-pandemic. So why is there such a disconnect here since 2019 to now?
Well, I think a lot of people were kind of fighting for their lives during the COVID-19 pandemic. I mean, people were more concerned about staying healthy, not contracting COVID, making sure that they were out of the ICU, and they exerted all of their energy and resources to sort of stay outside the hospital. And many people forgot that, well, we need to take care of the other parts of our health. We need to take care of, getting vaccinated for other things, making sure that our medications are okay and our dosages are okay, getting screened for cancers and things like that. So I think part of it was just the urgency of COVID-19 and not being able to respond to some of the other metrics of our health.
And just for a background, talking to you reminds me I do need to make that general checkup appointment. But how often should you be visiting your primary care doctor?
I think at a minimum, and depending on your age and your, health conditions and your, the different diagnoses that you may have, at least once a year. So, it's recommended that you go visit your primary care doctor for a general well-being checkup once a year, just to make sure, if nothing else, just an opportunity for you to connect with your doctor, talk about your health, discuss health-related issues, make sure your vaccinations are up to date, make sure that you're taking the right medications for whatever problems or issues that you have, and just discuss, how you can maintain a good and healthy lifestyle. So at least once a year at the very minimum.
I'm a big New Year's resolution person. That's actually how your article really caught my eye. But people think that, putting off that general checkup is no big deal. But you sounded the alarm, so much so saying that this should be your New Year's resolution. And you write that the success of early cancer screening is at risk. Why?
Well, if we're not going to our primary care doctors, we may not be getting screened for cancers that we may not know that we have. So, for example, there are 5 cancers that are easily screened for: breast cancer, lung cancer, cervical cancer, colon cancer, and of course, prostate cancer. So those 5 cancers, we have screening tests that allow you to detect whether or not you have cancer before symptoms even occur, before you may even know that you have cancer. And this screening is key because it prevents the cancer from being diagnosed at a stage when it's too late, when symptoms are already present and treatment may not be effective. So that's really the beauty of going to your primary care doctor, because you can get alerted to screening tests that you may do that will eventually save your life.
A phrase that's scary to hear from any doctor is too late, something you said now and something you also wrote for Forbes. It sounds like these proactive measures are really a matter of life and death.
Well, absolutely they are. Well, lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death in the United States and in the world. And it's very easily screened for. I mean, you can get a low dose CT, which literally takes 2 minutes of your time, and that can detect cancers far faster than even a chest x-ray or any other screening test that we have has to offer. And quite frankly, 94% of Americans who are eligible to get screened are not getting screened for lung cancer. And this is the deadliest cancer that we know of. So, and it's a very easy test. It's a CT. It takes 2 minutes of your time, and it can do wonders. It can prolong your life in ways that you may not know. So, getting these tests really is a matter of life or death.
Why aren't they getting screened for lung cancer? 94%. I mean, to be honest with you, I've never gotten screened for lung cancer, but I'm not a smoker, so I would think I wouldn't have it. Is that the mindset a lot of people have?
Well, I think it's a multitude of things. I think part of it is that people don't know. People don't know that there is a screening test for lung cancer. That's number one. And number two is not everyone needs to get screened. So if you're 50 years of age, if you're a smoker, if you've quit smoking within the last 15 years, or if you've had a 20 pack year history of smoking, then you should get screened for lung cancer. And let me explain what I mean by 20 pack year history. That means that if you've smoked a pack a day for 20 years, that's a 20 pack year history. That could also mean if you smoked 5 packs a day for 4 years, 5 times 4 is 20. So that makes you a 20 pack year history smoker. So if you fit into that category, then you should absolutely get screened for lung cancer because you have a high risk of having lung cancer that will be detected on that CT that eventually can save your life.
How else, aside from screenings, do primary care visits catch these symptoms before it is too late?
Well, just by asking questions and by doing a physical exam, right? So, your doctor is going to ask you, how are you doing? Do you have chest pain? Do you have cough? Are you coughing up blood? Did you feel a lump in your breast? How are your stool and bowel movements? All these questions can alert a physician to something or a problem that may be present that you may not be aware of. They may also run different tests or a physical exam by examining your body, doing a breast exam on you, palpating your abdomen. All these things that occur in a doctor's office will help and alert the doctor to something that may be wrong. And if something is wrong, they may, recommend other labs or screening tests so that you get the appropriate care that you deserve.
Once you see a visible symptom, which, causes a red flag, and then you go to the doctor, is that too late?
It's not too late. It's never too late, right? Because, it's always better to detect something before you can actually see it. But, the earlier, obviously, the better, right? So, going and screening tests, by the way, Brittany, are meant to catch cancers before symptoms even occur, right? So before you even know that you have a lump on your breast, a mammogram will show that lump before you can actually even feel it with your own hands. A low dose CT for lung cancer will detect that nodule or that mass in your lung before you even knew that you had that, or before you even have a cough, or you're coughing up blood, or you have shortness of breath, or these other symptoms that you may have that are associated with lung cancer. So, that's really the beauty and the purpose of screening, to find these things before they're even apparent to you and perhaps even your doctor.
I hear how critical you're saying screening tests are. And you said a lung cancer screening was only about 2 minutes. Can you walk us through what a screening would be like for other types of diseases or cancer?
Yeah, so let's talk about breast cancer. So breast cancer, the American College of Radiology recommends most women by the age of 40 to be screened annually for breast cancer. That entails getting a mammogram. A mammogram is a non-invasive X-ray that looks at your breast to see if there are any lesions that may be cancer, quite frankly. And it takes about 15 minutes to do. Your breasts get put between plastic plates, they're spread, they're compressed, and they're evaluated by a diagnostic radiologist, and they're read by a radiologist to see if there is any lesion there that is suspicious. So you go in, takes about 15 minutes to do. The diagnostic radiologist will have a report for you and your doctor probably that same day, or definitely within a couple of days, and then they'll may recommend further tests, or they may, quite frankly, tell you that this lesion is suspicious. Now, most of the time, it's normal, right? And nothing is wrong. But in a small fraction of percentage of times, you may require further tests to work up if there is something that may be suspicious.
Doctor, we are inching closer to February, and I'm sure you know if you've ever made a New Year's resolution. I know this, and polling suggests that 80% of New Year's resolutions fall flat come February 1st. Should making that general doctor's appointment be at the top of people's lists?
It absolutely should, because it's so easy to do. We talk about, going to the gym, exercising, diet, exercise. Those are hard commitments to do very long term, right? Like, it's hard to, go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week for an extended period of time. It's hard to decrease your carb intake or, get rid of soda for a whole year. But making a doctor's appointment is one time in the year and may take 30 minutes to go to, and a 30-minute or 45-minute commitment. So it's a very easy thing to do. It's very practical. And quite frankly, it can have a major impact on your health.
It sounds like the easiest New Year's resolution you can make. Dr. Awan, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Brittany.